الكريم.
وعن كعب بن مالك رضي الله تعالى عنه قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول المختار وجهه حتى كأن وجهه قطعة قمر كنا نعرف ذلك وكيف.
Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. We're so busy with the Shama'il of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وعن كعب بن مالك قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا سر استنار وجهه حتى كأن وجهه قمر وكنا نعرف ذلك متفق عليه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رأيتنا authority of Ka'ab ibn Malik. He says that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, right? إذا سر, so this is majhul. سر يسر, surah, when he was pleased. Please, I request you people from the bottom of my heart, try to know exactly. This is how you'll improve your Arabic. When you see a word, know what it is. It's a fa'al, it's a maf'ul, it's a jar, it's a majroor, it's majhool. Why is it majhool? Look, if a word is majhool, there's a reason why it's majhool. That's what I'm saying. Everything has a reason. Try to understand it. That is how you will really improve your ibarat. Although you're supposed to have improved your ibarat by now already. How many years? This is your what year? This is your first year. This is your fourth year. By now you're supposed to have improved your ibarat, but you can, if you haven't improved, you can still. That's why I still try to take all the time to show you. So it means إذا surra, when he was, majhul means the one that action is being done upon. So when he was pleased, like when something was done to him, but he was pleased, maybe he saw something pleasant, right? So إذا surra istanara wajhuhu, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's face would light up. Like I told you before, like when a person is happy, when a person, you see the eyes are shining, right? So you will see a healthy glow on the skin, etc. So istanara wajhuhu, you could see the happiness on his face. You didn't conceal the happiness, right? So إذا سر istanara wajhuhu, when he was made happy, in other words, he was pleased, his face would light up. حتى كأن وجهه, as though his face was قطعة قمر, like a piece of the moon, like how the moon is bright, luminous, etc. وكنا نعرف ذلك متفق عليه, and we could recognize that, and this is متفق عليه riwayat. So what the Sahabi saying, that we knew exactly, right? So the Sahabi is also teaching you that because of our excessive love for Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we knew exactly when he was happy, and we knew exactly when he was not happy. This comes to my mind now. There's a famous incident where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us, Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha, I know exactly when you're happy with me and when you're not happy with me. I know exactly when you're happy with me. So, as Aisha Siddiqa said, Ya Rasulullah, how do you know? How do you know when I'm happy with you and when I'm not happy? He said, when you are happy with me, you take a qasam on my Rabb, which is the same Rabb. He said, La wa Rabbi Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But when you're not happy with me, you're annoyed with me, you say, La wa Rabbi Ibrahim. I take qasam by the Lord of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So as Aisha Siddiqa said, the Arabic goes like this. Who knows the Arabic? Ya Rasul, it's only your name that I'm leaving out. What does she mean? It's only your name that I'm leaving out. But لا أهجر إلا اسمك. I think I got that's the word. لا أهجر إلا اسمك. What does it mean? It's only your name I'm leaving out. What does that mean, Luqman? What is she saying? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, when you're annoyed with me, you don't say La wa Rabbi Muhammad, you say La wa Rabbi Ibrahim. You take a qasam by the Lord of Ibrahim, not by the Lord of Muhammad. So as Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha responds, it's only your name that I'm leaving out. What does that mean? لا أهجر إلا اسمك. What does that mean? What does it mean, Ismail? It means that even though I'm annoyed with you, but I, I won't abandon you. I'm not leaving you. I'm only leaving your name. But you as a person, I still love you. You are still my prophet. You are still my husband, etc. You understood that? I'm only leaving your name out because I'm annoyed, right? Maybe it's just I'm thinking that maybe some people they have pet names for their wife. They call it as darling. They call it as honey. They call it sugar, whatever. So now when you're angry, you're really angry with her. What? When you still say darling, you won't say darling. You maybe call her by her own name or whatever. You say Fatima or Soraya. You won't say darling because at that point in time you don't want to show love. You're annoyed now, so you won't call her by her own name. That's what I'm saying. Sorry, you won't call her by the pet name. You'll call her by her own name because you're annoyed at her. Anyway, so Nabi Sallallahu was this Aisha Siddiqa like comforting Rasulullah. So it's only your name you're leaving, but you in essence, I'm not leaving you, right? So at the point where I came to the sea, Sahaba Ikram. So when you love somebody, when you're fond of somebody, then you know everything about them. You know everything about them. You know what they like, what they don't like. You know what annoys them. You know when they are annoyed. So here you can see um, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was 100% in tune with the feelings of Aisha Siddiqa. He knew exactly when she was annoyed. There's so much you can learn from this hadith. There's so much you can learn. Just maybe briefly one of the two things. See, no matter who you are, even if you're the Prophet of Allah, or even you as Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anhu, there's always ups and downs in marriage, etc. Right? No matter there's no marriage that is trouble free. Nowadays, unfortunately, the young people, the moment the marriage hit a rough patch, and they want to throw in the towel and say, no, this girl is not meant for me, or this guy is not meant for me, etc., etc. But that's part of marriage. It's part of the package. Like even as Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha, at the time she was maybe a little bit annoyed with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not, maybe not, I don't want to use a disrespectful, but maybe at times she was also felt like something. So that is natural. There's always the ups and downs. But what is the unique thing is how you navigate, how you work through that. Then the other thing is to be in tune with each other's emotions, to be in tune with each other's feelings, to consider them, etc. Anyway, as I said, that hadith is laden, it is pregnant with meaning. Maybe we'll discuss it another time. Maybe if Ismail marries again for a second time, he'll call me to give nikah bayan and we can speak about that, inshallah. Anyway, read the next hadith. But anyway, the main thing here is that I told you when the link with this hadith here is this uh, that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you could see the happiness on his face. So from this also you learn that when you are happy, to show your happiness, etc., not to be sulky, sad all the time. Right? Read the next. Some people are totally emotionless. Some people are totally listless. They look, all the time they look like they're sad. All the time they look like they're emotionless. Anyway, read the next hadith. وقال له رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا يهودي انا انشدك بالله الذي انزل التوراه عليك موسى هل تجد في التوراه ونعت صفتي ومخرجي قال لا قال انت فلا والله يا رسول الله انا نجد لك في التوراه نعت لك ومخرجك ومخرجك فاني لا اله الا الله فانك رسول الله قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وسلم هذا من عندي رحمي what you got after my smudge? What you got? ولو أخاكم. Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن أنس narrated authority as Anas أن غلاما يهوديا موصوف صفة which become the ism of حرف التوكيد, right? A Jewish boy كان يخدم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, used to make the khidmat of Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم. Maybe he used to work for us like how we have, you have servants, whatever. فمرض, he took ill. فأتاه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يعوده. Then Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم went to visit him. Interesting, very interesting. See, even this was a Jew boy. He was non-Muslim. He was working for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But when he took ill, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to visit him. Just shows you the akhlaq of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Like, unfortunately today we ourselves, he was a prominent person, he was a rich person, he was a person of influence. They're going for Hajj, or they are sick, or whatever, or somebody passed away, we go visit them. But a simple person, working in the madrasa, a janitor, or cleaning lady, something happens to her, we don't care. There's another beautiful hadith that it comes there in the hadith that there was a Habshi woman, a woman of African origin. She used to clean Masjid al-Nabawi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She passed away. Nabi was not informed. The Sahaba Kiram buried her, everything finished, and he was informed the next day. And when Nabi Sallallahu heard it, she passed away, she was buried, was but like, why you never tell me? Like, we don't want to inconvenience you, Rasulullah. So they thought maybe she's a simple person, like I say, she's a worker, something like that. But Nabi Sallallahu went, then after he went to the qabr and he read and he made dua and everything. So that's so much about the akhlaq of Nabi Sallallahu. Like I was telling you, unfortunately, our habit is prominent person, then we first to offer condolences, we first to make iyadat, we first to make ta'ziyat, etc. Simple person, working person, gardener, cleaning lady, Muslim, whatever, then everybody's missing, right? So Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq also this is the sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu also, even if it's simple person, to console them, to condole them, etc. Right? Ya'uduhu, right? فَوَجَدَ أَبَاهُ إِنَّ رَأْسِهِ. Then Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam found his father, يعني the boy's father, in the رأسه, by his head. يقرأ التوراة. Coincidentally, we just done this riwayat in Tafsir ibn Kathir. We're reading the Tawrat by him. فقال له رسول الله يا يهودي أنشدك بالله الذي أنزل التوراة. Oh Jew boy. نشد ينشد, I implore you, right? In the name of Allah. الذي أنزل التوراة. Who also revealed the Tawrat, right? So see what he's saying. That all, like I told you, all the adyan are one. There's no such thing as, like, I remember when we in school, so our teacher was telling us, yeah, Islam is still a young religion compared to Hinduism. Hinduism is so many thousand years old. Islam is only 1,400 years old. Never no answer. But the answer is pretty simple. Islam was here from the very beginning. Adam alayhi salam came with Islam. Adam alayhi came with all the same thing about Tawheed, Risalat, etc., etc., right? So all the Adyan is one. Yes, the different prophets came with different furu'at. They came with different periphery issues, how you pray, etc., right? So he's saying, yes. So this is already a da'wat. Anshuduka billahi alladhi anzala at-Tawrata ala Musa. I implore you in the name of Allah, the one who had revealed the Torah to Musa alayhi salam. Hal tajidu fi Tawrati na'ti. Do you find in the Torah my description, wasifati, and also like my description of me, right? Makhraji, and my place of exit. Qala la. So he said no. Remember I told you, those that are joined us for the tafsir, they heard this before, but those that are not for the tafsir, there's a few people that's in this class here, it's not a tafsir. I told you that just for their benefit, we mention this again. There's a book called the original is Harul Haq by Mana Rahmatullah Kiranvi from Indo-Pak continent. He, in this book, Mufti Taqi, translated it into Urdu. It's called Bible Selekar Quran Tak. And today I heard good news. It's even been translated into English. The moment I come across that, I want to buy it. It is even being translated. So they say Sheikh Ahmad Didat was a master in comparative religion. He developed his skill by reading this book. But okay, that's beside the point. The point I want to mention for those who never heard this, in this book, Bible Selekar Quran Tak, or Izhar or Haq, he tried to gather all the references of the previous scriptures of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the Tawrat, Injil, wherever there's mention of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, right? So yeah, same thing. So if you want to see that, inshallah, we must get all of the English copy. I'm sure it will be a great resource for us, right? So he asked the Jew, do you find my description? Because Nabi Sallam knew, الذين يجدونه مكتوبا عندهم في التوراة والإنجيل يأمرهم بالمعروف. You see how nice when you got the knowledge of Quran and the Hadith, how it ties in, ties in nicely, right? قال لا قال الفتى بلى. So the father said, Jews, they were treacherous. Yeah? Even the famous story about where they came to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and okay, this one I know the book. The original book, the original book was called Izharul Haq. The original book is called Izharul Haq and it's written by Mullah Rahmatullah Kiranwi. Maybe passed away a long time ago. And this has been translated into Urdu. I got the Urdu book by the house called Bible. It's been translated by Mufti Taqi Usmani. It's called Bible Seleker Quran, took from the Bible to Quran. And I say I read somewhere recently, I don't know where, that this is also be that older one is also quite difficult. Few times I sat down to read it, but I found it very, very difficult. But anyway, so now this book has been translated into English. I'm not sure what the English name is, but anyway, if I come across it, I'm also on the PDF book group of books. I'll ask them, inshallah, anybody knows about it. But if I come across it, definitely I want to buy that. But I'm not sure what the English name is. So the old name is Bible Selekar Quran, took from the Bible to the Quran. And I mentioned to you that Sheikh Ahmad Didat, Rahmatullah alayhi, was a master in comparative religion. Often they say, the ulama say that he developed his skill by studying this book. He developed his skill by studying this book here, right? So, inshallah, if a copy of the English will let you know. Anyway, um, so remember the famous story about where the Jew committed adultery or something, and it's clearly mentioned in their book that the person must get stoned, but they wanted to worm their way out. So they came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they wanted Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to make a decision. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked him, "Is there anything in the Torah with regards to this? Why are you coming to me?" So they concealed that part. So lucky at the time there was a Jewish scholar. He said, "No, they are devious. There is written that they must be stoned." You came across it, right? Anyway, so something similar, yeah. So قال الفتى بلى, no, والله يا رسول الله إنا نجد لك في التوراة نعتك وصفتك. Definitely we find in the Torah your description and your characteristics, ومخرجك, and your place of exit. That I think here they're referring to place of exit to refer to the place of hijrat, right? وإني أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله, and verily I bear witness that there is no God besides Allah, وأنك رسول الله, and verily you are the Rasul. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لأصحابه, Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم said to his companions, أقيموا هذا من عند رأسك ولوا أخاكم. The Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم said that أقيموا هذا من عند رأسه, that take this person away from, like take the father away from this boy here, right? And you be wallu akhakum, you be the wali, walla, you wali of your brother. In other words, he's a Muslim now. So this wallu is wala yali wilayat. You take charge of his matters. He's become a Muslim. Take charge of him. If he passes away, then you make his takfeen, you make his tajheez according to Islam. So I was telling you, if you study the Quran and study the Hadith, and especially if you look at those who done the tafsir of the first para, Surah Baqarah, you see the mischievous nature of the Yahud. They forget about trying to deceive insan. They even try to deceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yeah, imagine this boy's father even try to. That's why you see, even like if you look at the current conflict in Gaza, how the Jews, how they are, they are masked. They spend, even in today's context, they spend billions and billions of rands on their propaganda campaigns. They are the aggressors. But how they spin the thing, they call it anti-Semitic. Did anybody say anything against them? That person, they label them anti-Semitic. So they spend billions and billions of rands to spin the whole narrative, to spin the whole narrative and show that they are the victims while they are the aggressors. So that treachery goes back all the way to then, right? Read the next hadith. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وعن أبي هريرة نريتنا أثارت أبو هريرة أن أنت نريت from Nabi Sallam قال أنه قال أنا رحمة مهداة, I'm a mercy And I'm one that has been guided, right? I've been sent by Allah Ta'ala. I'm like another nice way of translating this. I am a sent guidance from Allah Ta'ala. Sorry, a sent mercy. Rawaw Darami, Imam Darami narrates this. And Bayhaqi narrates it in Shu'ab al-Iman. So I've been a muhdatan from this year means like, hadiyah, a mercy that has been gifted. So like, when somebody gives you a gift and you accept the gift, then what happens? That's why also you say al-hibatu yanaqidu bil ijab wal qabulu bil qabuli wa yatimmu bil qabz. You must take possession of the gift. Then you benefit from the gift. But if somebody gives you something and say, look, I'm gifting you this year, you say, maaf, no, man, I don't need it. So you won't get the benefit of the gift, right? Because you rejected it. So same thing here. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is muhdatun, is a sent mercy. So how do you accept that mercy? When you accept Islam, when you accept his teachings, right? So Nabi said, وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُعَذِّبَهُمْ وَأَنْتَ فِيهِمْ. It is not that Allah Ta'ala will punish you while you are from amongst them, while you are amongst them. Ulama mentioned also this means that as long as a person is practicing on the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah Ta'ala won't punish the people. So you see, in that sense also, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a mercy. There's another riwayat where Nabi Muhammad said, وَإِفْتُ بِرَفْءِ قَوْمٍ وَخَفْضِ آخَرِينَ. I've been sent for the raising of some people, وَخَفْضِ آخَرِينَ, and for the suppressing, the dropping of other people. So in other words, those people who accept my teachings, those people who accept my sunnah, those people who practice on what I'm saying, then they will be raised, they will be exalted. And those people who abandon my teaching, they will be disgraced. What comes to my mind, the incident was Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Remember when the Muslims had conquered Baitul Maqdis, they haven't conquered Baitul Maqdis, but when they surrounded Jerusalem, and they said, we will hand over the keys to your Khalifa. We've got a description in our holy book. So the Muslims made Mashura with Umar, instead of fighting and shedding blood, come to Baitul Maqdis and they will hand the keys over to us. Right? And the famous incident, then while they were traveling to Baitul Maqdis, when the one Sahabi suggested to us, Umar radiallahu ta'ala, that why don't you wear some nice clothes because you are going to be now, like you're the leader of the Muslims, they're going to be look at him. And as Umar became annoyed, he said, نحن قوم أعزنا الله بالإسلام. That we are people, Allah Ta'ala has honored us with Islam. لو طلبنا في غيره لأذنه الله. If we seek our honor in something else, in the things of the dunya, the clothes of the dunya, right, then we will be disgraced. So same thing here, that the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is the criterion of respect. That is the criterion of honor, etc. Okay, so Alhamdulillah, with the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have come to the end of that discussion. May Allah ta'ala give us the full barakah and the blessing of learning about the outer. What we say, just remember, is one is surat and one is sirat. So in Arabic, in Urdu also, Arabic also is surat means the outer form, sirat means the inner form. In Arabic, we say khalqun and khuluqun, right? Khalqun refer to the outer, remember, so, and khuluqun refers to the inner. So we've discussed the outer form of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We've discussed the description of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I mentioned to you several times that obviously uh, this is a means of barakah, is a means of benediction, is a means of blessing, which you can also mention in your bayans, you can mention your talim, even the ladies, the appas that do the ladies talim, one time they can give a whole talim upon this year. Unfortunately, there's a shortage of ladies that nowadays, if you have talim, you're looking for one appa to speak, you can't even find anybody to speak. The appas also need to hone their skills, speaking skills a little bit. So Um, so that is also from the outer, that which you can practice upon, you'll practice upon, but it's mostly ghair ikhtiyari. You can't make your shoulders broad, whatever, but you can benefit from that in the sense that uh, with the mentioning of it, there is barakah in this blessing. So now the next is babun. So Allah Ta'ala give us the full benefit of that, even though we don't deserve it. Allah Ta'ala give us the full reward of it, and Allah Ta'ala recorded on our good deeds, our scale of good deeds on the day of Qiyamah. Allah Ta'ala accept, inshallah. Anyway, babun fi akhlaqihi wa shama'ilihi. So after having discussed the surah, now we're going to move to the sirat. I'm going to discuss each word in detail there, but just before we look at it, we're speaking about now the sirat, the character of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and we're speaking about the sirat, the inner of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So remember, surat, khub, Urdu means khub means good, nah? So khub surat means outwardly good, and khub sirat means also inwardly good, right? When you choose a wife, she must be khub surat, outwardly good, and khub sirat, also inwardly good, good character, right? Not only khub sirat, but not khub surat, both must be good. You understood that, right? Okay. No, as normally when we start the Bab, always there's a verse that is mentioned for for to get the barakah of the Quran. Allah Ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman, A'udhu billahi min ash-shaytan ar-rajim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, wa innaka la'ala khuluqin azim, addressing Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that verily you are on the most lofty and highest pedestal of character, right? Akhlaq, see, babun fi akhlaqihi. Akhlaq, the Jama is khuluqun. Listen nicely to this. Ne? Khuluqun, I tell you, refer to the internal khuluq. And khalqun is the external, right? So khuluqun, akhlaqun. So, like I told you, khuluqun, akhlaqun refers to the batini description, the inner description. And here, in particular, when we speak about the inner description, we mean the character of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And in simple words, this is called Awsaf Hamida. Awsaf is a jama of wasfun, ne? And Hamida is obviously the sifat because this is jama mukassar, it's why it's wahid. Ne? Are you with me? You know, jama mukassar, the equivalent is wahid muannas. Ne? That's why you say Awsaf Hamida or Akhlaqi Hamida. You get Akhlaqi Razila because it is jama mukassar, the equivalent is wahid muannas, right? Are you guys with me so far? You following? Then there was babun fi akhlaqihi and wa shama'ilihi. Shama'il is the jama of shimalun with a kasra on the sheen. And also, if you look at shama'il, shimal, it is a synonym. It is mutaradif. In Arabic, you say mutaradif, similar meaning as akhlaq. So, like I told you in Urdu, you say sirat. So I was telling you, until now we discussed the external, the zahir awsaf. Awsafun zahirun. And from henceforth we will discuss the awsaf batini, khasail. Like just to understand what you mean, the things that you don't see with the eye, like bravery, shuja'at, sakhawat, generosity, rahmat, mercy, shafaqat, compassion, mahabbat, is love, tawadu', humility, tahammul, tolerance, haya, modesty, these type of things. The abstract qualities that you don't see with the eye. So here he says, inshallah, there will be a vivid description of it. May Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq to practice, understand, and practice. Okay, read the first one. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. الفصل الأول عن أنس. قرأت عن the author of Anas قال خدمت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم 10 سنين. I served the Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم for 10 years. فما قال لي أفتي. He never said, what you doing? ولا لما صنعتنا. Why did you do this? Why do you have to do this? ولا ألا صنعنا. Now, why didn't you do this? متفق عليه, and this is a متفق عليه riwayat. So this word off, it also comes in the Quran. So let's look some tahqiq. That's in the Quran. ولا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما. Uff. It starts with a Hamza. As mentioned here, that there's 3 ways you can read this. You can say uff, or you can say if, or af. All 3 ways. All three lughat, all 3 ways are acceptable. Although in the Quran it's uff. So in fact, Imam Nawawi, yesterday we spoke about Imam Nawawi, remember, he's got one of the best shuruhat on the loves of Muslim Shareef, and he's in second in command in the Shafi madhab. After Imam Shafi is the greatest of the Shafi scholars. He says that if you really study this word, there's almost 10 different ways in which it can be read. Yeah, so this is not critical. Listen to this here. That here is mentioned that the word uff in Arabic, normally it is mentioned. It is said when you experience something negative, when you experience something unpleasant, right? When you want to, so in other words, it's a display of annoyance. What is it? Or not a display, sorry, here's the right word. It is an expression. It is an expression of annoyance. What is it? It is an expression of annoyance. You show your annoyance that you're not happy with something. That's what Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran. وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفِّيُّ. Do not show annoyance in front of your parents. Do not show that you're unhappy. So interesting, listen to this. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam made hijrat from Makkah to Medina, then Sulaim radiyallahu ta'ala anha brought her son, Hazrat Anas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, and she presented him in the service of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and she said, Huwaydamuk, ism tasghir Suhailun, right? Huwailun, remember that is in, so means little. Ya Rasulullah, here's your little servant, here's your little Huwaid. Fad'u lahu, just make dua for him. You must serve you. All I want is make dua. And I will discuss with you it's not here in the kitab, but this dua that Nabi made for Hazrat Anas, subhanallah. I cannot remember the exact facts, but it goes like this. I think Hazrat Anas lived till the age of 110, and he was blessed with so much wealth. I can't remember the fact. It's mentioned that he buried over 100 of his own progeny. Because Allah Ta'ala made dua for Barak, and Nabi made dua in Barak at his age. He had so many wives and so many children, and because of the dua of Nabi, he outlived so many. He buried so many of his children and of his grandchildren and of his great grandchildren. It was all the result of this dua that Nabi made for him. Obviously, because he served Nabi, this is the heart, dua that came from his heart. One is you ask a dua and one is you earn a dua. What is asking for dua, Luqman? Huh? Please. What is earning a dua? Loud? Huh? When you're so kind to a person that the person make dua from their heart, like simple, just to understand. Like one is you got your parents, you tell mommy make dua for me, daddy make dua for me, okay, I make dua for you, I make dua for you. That. And one is you earn the dua, you serve your parents, you serve them, you see what they need. When you whatever they need, you do for them, you entertain them, you take them out, you make them part of you, you respect them, and then that dua that flows from the depths of their heart, min jazri qulubihim, right? So one is when you ask for a dua, that person makes a dua. But when same thing with your ustad, your teacher, anywhere you are good in your studies, you work hard, you come regularly, etc. Then you start saying, no, mashallah, this student, such a good student, he listens, he's obeying the rules of the madrasa. I make dua for him from my heart. Allah Ta'ala takes him, use him for deen. Allah Ta'ala use him. Allah Ta'ala grant you beneficial knowledge. May Allah Ta'ala use you for deen. So that is very important. The difference between, that's why they say, in order also dua mangna, or dua lena. Right? When you ask for a dua, and one is where you engage in such action that dua comes from the depths of the heart from a person. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq to earn the du'as of our teachers, our parents, from the depths of their heart, right? So, because his mother requested this dua and then he earned the dua from, that's why he was so blessed. It will come somewhere in Mishkaat, inshallah. You will come across it, don't worry. The exact details of how wealthy he was and how many children he had and how many wives he had, you'll come. And it shows you the barakah of the dua of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So Hazrat Anas radiallahu ta'ala was the age of 8 when he came into the khidmat of Nabi Sallam. And he served Nabi Sallam for 10 years. So yeah, Hazrat Anas radiallahu ta'ala wants to show, uh, the compassion with which Nabi Sallam treated him. For 10 long years, I served him. He never ever, shout me or rebuke me. Never ask me now, why are you not doing this? Why are you behaving in this particular manner? Yes, maybe sometimes, maybe he does rebuke me, but it could be that this was not his habit, that he was like, la fazdan khalidan sakhaban. Mullah Ali Qari mentions in the Mirqat, I tell you, one of the best explanation of hadith. If you want, you don't speak about the Asma Rijal, but just the word of the hadith is Mirqat of Mullah Ali Qari. He mentions something very interesting. He says that this was with regard to Nabi Sallam's personal things. If any of his personal requests or any of his personal things was neglected, then this was his response. But if it was regards to a matter of deen, if the deen was being compromised, if somebody was going against the deen, then there was no compromise. لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. There is no obedience for the creation when it results in the disobedience of the Creator. There you have to be firm. There it has to be resolute. So if your food was not on time, your, your turban wasn't ironed, or the washing wasn't done, or you can't find clean socks, you can't find clean underwear, then you overlook, then you not stern, then you're not hard. But yes, it is a compromise with regards to Sharia. Now they want you to go to a wrong place, to buy a wrong thing. Then you are unwavering. Then you are firm. Then you are resolute. So same thing here from this hadith and from other hadith we learn when it was with regards to matters of Nabi Sallallahu personal things, he was most forbearing, most forgiving. But if it was regard to the Shariah, then there was no tolerance. After all, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam right, he was sent as a guide. He was sent to show the way. So there could be no compromise, right? Okay, let's just do one more hadith before we go to the tafsir, inshallah. Who read last? Who read last? You read. In fact, this next hadith is just an extension of the previous hadith. Right, see, also now, right now. So yeah, you know, outside people that you don't work with, people that meet you once off, they saw you once, or maybe they just met you once, and mashallah, that's a very good person. Alhamdulillah, that's good. But that's not a true reflection of who you are. Ask the people that work with you day in and day out. Ask your students. Ask your students. Ask your wife. Ask those who work under you. They work with you all the time. They will tell you how is the guy's character. They will give you a true reflection. Because it's easy to hide your true nature once in a while. But every day it's not easy to hide your true nature because then your true nature will come out. In your house, your true nature will come out because you can put on an act for a certain amount of time. But in the house where you're all the time there, you can't put the act on. Your true akhlaq is going to come out. Those people that are working with you in your shop or your business or your farm, whatever, you can't act with the act. Your true character is going to come out. madrasa with your students all the time. You can't put the act. Your true character will come out. So if you want to know the character of a person, ask those people that work with him all the time. If you don't know who's a Buzruk, ask the first wife, is this man got good character or not? Then you okay, the same thing here. This is a person who was with Nabi Sallallahu 10 years. So obviously this person has honest, he knew Nabi Sallallahu character 100%. Because you couldn't, Nabi Sallallahu couldn't be putting an act. I'm just examples. He couldn't be putting an act on for 10 years. You understand what I'm saying? So ask those that are with you all the time, and they will tell you. And when the close people, they say, no, this is a good person, then you know that's a true reflection. That's a true accolade. Anyway, see there. Kana Rasul, he says, as Anas says, Kana min ahsani nasi khuluqan. That Nabi, I worked with him 10 years, man. He was the best person in character. He was the best person. Let me tell you, khuluq, khalq and khuluq. Yeah? Khalq, external, khuluq, right? Carry on. Right, so he sent me one day for some work or the other, what I can't remember what even right. So I said, like, no, I'm not gonna go now. I'm tired or I want to play now, whatever. I was a young boy. He was 8 years old, right? فقلت والله لا أذهب. But وفي نفسي أنا أذهب. But in my mind, I knew I'll do it. Like, remember saying as Aisha Siddiqa said, لا أهجر إلا اسمك يا رسول الله. I only don't take your name. I say, لا ورب إبراهيم. But in fact, in my heart, I'm still attached to you. But I'm just a bit annoyed at you, right? So I said, وفي نفسي أنا أذهب, right? لما أمرني به رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I will do what Rasul sallallahu, right? Carry on. I will do what Rasul requested me to do, right? So when I went, I left out to do this work. فخرجت حتى أمر على صبيان. Right, and I went, but I passed by some children, right? And like they were playing, like maybe that time, whatever they had their games by the marketplace. And obviously, I'm a child also, so I also was tempted to play, right? And it happened as such that Nabi Sallallahu came past, right? فإذا رسول صلى قد قبض بقفايا. He took of me by my nape and said, فقبض قبض بقفايا من وراي, from behind. He said, then I looked at the Rasulullah, so I was shocked because he sent me on an errand. And I'm not doing the errand now. I'm there playing with the children. And what is hal, right? Wow is this Jumla, wow is haliya, ne? You done wow haliya. So Nabi Sallam look, I look at Nabi Sallam, ويضحك, and he was laughing. Get on. So أنيس اسم التصغير of Anas, ne? أنيس. فقال يا أنيس, أنيس, ذهبت حيث أمرتك. Did you go where I asked you to go? I asked you to do this work. So I said, نعم أنا أذهب. Yeah, yes, I'm going. So I'm going to do the work, no problem. Right. ورواه مسلم, Imam Muslim raises particularly. والله لا أذهب. Right. So he said this work. Sometimes you also say something, but you just want to show, like, like an act of defiance, but you don't really mean it. وفي نفسي, in my heart, I was resolute. I'm going to do it. So I told you I was probably, as Anas was still a small boy at that point in time, and he was doing the khidmat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam never expressed any anger, any annoyance at him. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam playfully grabbed him by his neck and said, aren't you going to do the work I sent you to do, like how we say? So this was like you say, shafaqatan. And Unais, Anas, Unais, normally you use this type of expression when you want to show love to a person, right? So the original Anas and Unais, right? Okay, time is up. You stop there. Okay, time is not up, but I see my Anas name is gone there. So we'll stop there now. We'll continue with the tafsir, the same link, inshallah. Open it there.